Hey everyone, we're jumping in with more Battlestar Galactica today. I'm sitting down to watch episodes 8 and 9 back to back. So now that we are a little bit more than halfway through this season, I wanted to take some time to kind of talk about what's on my mind and I guess reiterate a lot of Battlestar Galactica now that we're getting closer and closer to the end of this season already. What we know so far is that the Cylon threat is just gaining momentum. It could be anyone, they could be anywhere. And now, after the last couple episodes with Shelley Godfrey and the talk of religion and not even knowing if she was real or not, she came aboard the Battlestar Galactica and people actually saw her. She definitely wasn't just a figment of Gaius's imagination anymore. She was real, she was there, and she was pointing fingers at him. So I'm still very uncertain about what to really put my finger on with that episode. Was she real? It makes me wonder how. How is that possible? Is there something like in the air on the ships that's pumping through? I don't know. Are people seeing figments of Cylons now? Has somehow in everyone's sleep, maybe the sleeper agents are like planting stuff in people's heads? My imagination has been going wild. And that's also why I wanted to kind of talk with you guys because I mean, after my outros are very fresh. But afterwards, I take a step away and I keep thinking about the show. I even go back and like watch some scenes that I'm not too sure about. So it's been a really awesome ride just because of that. Because even after I'm done with my outro with you guys and I have a week before I can sit down and watch more, I just keep asking different questions and keep theorizing, and different ideas keep popping into my head. And it's been really, really fun because of that. But I feel like throughout this season, when everything first happened, there was a certain moral compass to be found with Adama, with Rosalind. They were following what they knew in the world that was still alive. And since things have obviously ended, their entire solar system was taken over by Cylons, and they've been dealing with gray area after gray area. I feel like, especially after the last few episodes, you can see the moral compass wavering, kind of getting a little bit all over the place with Adama, with Rosalind, with everybody. I think that's really interesting and very human to something that would happen on board, between the president and the military after the world ends. I just feel like it's very normal for a moral compass to be so wavering like that, especially when you're dealing with these type of threats, also trying to survive amongst all of these threats. And that is, I think, the main driving point of why the moral compass is changing. Survival. Always thinking 2 steps ahead, because at the end of the day, they all just want to survive. And I think that a lot of people are calling shots because of that. They just want to keep living. They just want to keep surviving. And Rosalind doesn't want that number on the whiteboard behind her to keep going down. And it's definitely caused a lot of sticky situations and headbutting between the military and the government. And I do think right now they are fine. They're getting along. They're respectful of one another. But I feel like after the whole tribunal and everything that happened with Adama, and I really love Adama. I think you can just feel the weight when he enters the room. You can feel his presence, and he is an amazing actor in this entire season so far. But I feel like after what he pulled at the tribunal, that's going to cause some red flags with Rosalind. It would be silly for it not to. Going forward, I mean, the cat's out of the bag with the Cylons looking human. Everything's going on with the tribunal. Boomer's locker had Cylon written on it, which I'm pointing fingers at her ex-boyfriend now for writing that, because I feel like he's the only one that's really been super onto her about that. And he's been sticking up for her for so long that now that he knows that Cylons can look like humans, he's probably freaking out too. I'm really looking forward to jumping into this episode. I feel like things have really been bubbling up underneath the surface. Yeah, I'm looking forward to jumping in today. So let's get started. This one's called Flesh and Bone. I'm imagining now that everyone knows that they can look, they look and feel human. Maybe that has something to do with the title. Is she dreaming? Is she a Cylon? That's one of the Cylon people. Oh, it's the guy from the mugshot.
Laura.
Okay, it was a nightmare. Interesting. The Cylon was keeping her safe from the military?
You have an urgent call from the captain of the Gemini Traveler. He says they found a Cylon on board.
I'll send a team over to destroy it immediately.
I want this man interrogated first.
It's not a him, it's an it. Second, anything it says cannot be trusted.
True.
That's an order, Commander. I want him interrogated.
Order understood.
Because she had a dream about him.
The only problem with Leoman is that he mixes lies with truth. He's gonna try to get into your head.
Mom always said there was nothing in there anyway.
So he's sending her to interrogate.
Your job is to make sure he doesn't achieve the goal.
Yes, sir.
I guess that's smart. He can trust her the most. So is Rosalind's, whatever she's doing, that herbal stuff, is it making her hallucinate, or I guess it's causing those like really vivid nightmares? Or, I mean, after what happened with Shelley Godfrey, I just wonder how much mental pull these Cylons have. Like if Shelley Godfrey was able to get on board the Battlestar Galactica and completely leave it undetected, who's to say that these Cylons aren't able to like get inside and outside of people's minds, just like they're doing with Baltar? So maybe it went to her in a dream or something. I don't know. And that's why now it's captured and it's going to be interrogated. I don't know. I just think it's really interesting that she just woke up from a nightmare and it's caught. She keeps singing to this ship.
You do treat this thing more like an animal than a machine, and it actually works. How'd you come up with that anyway? Pop into your head?
I'm a Cylon.
You know, that's not even funny.
If I could prove that I wasn't, would that make a difference, between us?
She testing him? The way that he acted, it didn't seem like he wrote that on her locker. Maybe it wasn't him.
Yeah.
Must be all full of wires inside.
No, you cut him open, there's blood, guts, the whole thing. It's sweating.
I'll be.
Why is he like that?
Sleeping?
Praying.
How many Cylons were there in the fleet?
I have no idea. What's your name?
Why were you hiding aboard this ship?
I had a mission to perform. Listen, it's a small thing. Can you just tell me who you are?
I am not here to play games with you.
I really want to know your name.
Open.
Are you Lieutenant Starbuck? I knew it.
How does he know him? Or
Now we can talk. Now we can talk about a lot of things.
I don't like this.
I planted a nuclear warhead aboard one of your ships. It's set to go off at 1830 hours.
You're lying, there's no warhead.
Your military training dictates you take it to your masters and let them decide.
Maybe I push you out the airlock and tell him you never said a word.
I'm looking forward to spending a little more time with you, Starbuck. We have a lot to talk about.
Did he know that the interrogation was going to happen with her?
Well, we'll know for sure in 8 hours and 40 minutes. Lieutenant Trace, did he say anything else?
No. Well, he guessed my call sign. Seemed really happy when he found out who I was.
50 ways you could have heard the word Starbuck on a wireless set.
That's what I figured, sir.
Yeah, and her legs messed up. Maybe he heard that she got injured, like one of the people, and knew that way. I don't know.
So you pray to Artemis and Aphrodite?
Where's the warhead?
I was right. To know the face of God is to know madness.
She's gonna eat in front of him.
This is not all that we are. A part of me swims in the stream, but in truth, I'm standing on the shore. The current never takes me downstream.
Oh, was that swimming in streams or something?
Do you mind?
Mm.
Thank you.
How's your lunch?
You know how it is.
Is it like, well, she ate it. Is it
When
poison?
you're starving, anything tastes good.
Why is she looking at the card like that? Why?
Did that hurt? Machines shouldn't feel pain, shouldn't sweat.
I knew this about you. You're everything I thought you would be.
This is some intense interrogating. I mean, I guess when you don't look at them as human and he planted a nuclear warhead on one of the ships, you'll do anything to get that information, but...
Lieutenant Valeri, it's an unexpected visit.
I need your help.
Anything I can do.
If you're working on a Cylon detector, do you think I could be in the first batch?
I'm not sure it'd be appropriate to show favoritism.
I saved your life back on Caprica. You owe me. She shoots. She scores.
The technology for Cylon detection is not quite ready for full-scale implementation, but I could use a beta test subject.
A beta test subject? So, Six obviously knows that she's a Cylon, but she's not telling him that. At least not right now. I guess to see if it really works. His test.
I notice you're calling her Sharon now.
She is one of them.
But she's one of us. It would be best to remember that.
Interesting.
We're setting up a cabin for you nearby. Food, water, electricity, all the comforts.
Shouldn't be too hard to convince him to stay and start a life together. If not, kill him. Can you handle that?
Start a life together? Are they going to try to, like, make babies? Is that what the main objective is here? To see if they can, like, breed?
Kilo! I saw Cylons ahead of this way. We gotta travel fast, even faster than before.
Is it like an Adam and Eve situation?
All other living creatures, and you repaid his divine love with sin, with hate, corruption. So then he decided to create the Cylons.
We created you. Us. You slaughtered my entire civilization. That is sin. That is evil, and you are evil.
I see the truths that float past you in the stream.
I think we should indulge you in your obsession.
What, like waterboarding him? Don't waste water, though.
Do you realize I could kill you before they came back in the room?
Then why don't you?
It's not the time.
He wasn't bluffing.
I have a surprise for you.
Oh my gosh, that's a big guard.
You fracked up, pal.
You fracked up.
Now the gloves come off.
Jeez. That was a really interesting and like kind of first take on God, though. How he created all living beings, but how humans created Cylons because that was a better image for God.
How's the search going for the nuke?
Nothing so far.
How much time remaining?
2 hours, 9 minutes.
But she's right. They slaughtered entire civilizations. And they continue to slaughter people.
Spread out the fleet. No ship more than 500 clicks from any other ship. If there's a nuke, let's limit the damage.
Aye, sir.
Is it like Noah's Ark, the flood? Except it's the Cylons? And they're trying to like recreate the Adam and Eve situation on Caprica? I feel like that's all like, I don't know. It's plausible. Oh my gosh, they're gonna waste water? This does not seem likely. They wouldn't waste a whole bucket of water to... No. No, don't waste water.
You're afraid that we're a long way from home. What if you don't transfer all the way back? What if when you die here, you really die? I don't have a soul, I have software. If I die, I'm gone.
Wow.
I know you're damaged. You're born to a woman who believed that suffering was good for the soul, so you suffered. It's something that you want to believe because it means that you're the problem, not the world. You're like a cancer that needs to be removed because you hear her voice every day.
Start again.
Is she gonna kill him now? He's smiling. Is he talking about her mom?
Congratulations, Doctor. You've just uncovered your very first Cylon. Now here's an interesting moment in the life of Gaius Baltar. What will he do?
What will he do?
Is everything okay?
Yeah.
I'm guessing her Cylon side will take over and break your neck before you can give away her secret.
Congratulations, it's green. It's very bright green.
Smash his keyboard. He's so funny. He's so funny.
There's nothing to be worried about anymore. You couldn't be more human if you tried.
Well, thanks.
Anytime.
Don't look at the computer. Okay, I thought she was gonna like look at it before she left. Oh my gosh.
I have something to tell you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Something's happening with her.
I want you to get me a shuttle. I'm going to the Gemini Traveler. I want to see the Cylon myself.
Wait a second. If he's dead, is that why he came to her? Because they are re-uploaded, but they're re-uploaded into a living person's consciousness? Oh, he's live. Okay, that theory's out the window. I was like, because then 6 uploaded into Baltar, and that's why she's there, but not physical. But yeah, never mind. I thought I was onto something. Wait, maybe he was like slipping into death?
You're gonna find Como, birthplace of us all. Como will lead you to Earth. This is my gift to you, Kara.
The hell is going on here?
She's gonna be pissed. They've been torturing this guy, this Cylon, but she's not gonna see it that way, is she?
He thinks he can see the future. Says he knows our destiny, our fate. He says we're gonna find Cobalt, and that it's gonna lead us to Earth.
Clean him up. There's not much time.
Yes, sir.
Different players, same story. Do the Cylons feel like they are carrying out like what happens with the flood and the rapture? I feel like that's what this is.
Take his restraints off.
Thank you.
I can do more. I can guarantee your safety. I can order your release.
What?
Tell me what I need to know, and you will live.
The warhead doesn't exist. I made it up. I didn't want to die, so when I got caught, I made up a story to buy some time.
I see. No! Stand up.
Why did he do that so intensely?
I have something to tell you. Madama is a Cylon.
What? No. 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 He's trying to just put words, poison. He's trying to poison things, right? There's no way. He's been a father. No, I don't believe him.
He's a machine. And you don't keep a deadly machine around. When it kills your people and threatens your future, you get rid of it.
Okay. The dream. And the military. Just, the dream. Nothing is black and white in this show. Absolutely nothing is black and white.
Lords of Cobalt, hear my prayer. I don't know if he had a soul or not. But if he did take care of it.
Care to tell me why?
President Adar once said that the interesting thing about being a president is that you don't have to explain yourself to anyone.
She feels uncomfortable around him because of what the Cylon said. I mean, I'm someone that has read the Bible. I'm very familiar with the Bible and God and Jesus and all of that, if you didn't know that about me. So knowing that, I'm seeing a lot of parallels, a lot of very interesting parallels of the rise and fall of man and sin and believing in different gods, praying to different gods, all the way leading up to the flood and why that happened. And this episode felt a lot like those chapters. And it's very interesting to me because a lot of what that Cylon was saying was what happened when God decided to purge the earth of all of the chaos and evil and sin, and that entire purification through destruction. And I'm just getting a lot of callbacks from Genesis, and it's impossible not to see those connections. And I could be way off the mark here. I could be letting my own religion get in the way of what's actually happening here. But I mean, if anyone else has read those chapters, it's undeniable the parallels that are within this episode. And it makes a lot of sense now, looking at Genesis and what happens after the flood, why everything is going down on Caprica the way that it is with Hilo and Sharon. And now they're going to have a nice little cabin somewhere and build a life together. And it's just very interesting. And I'm not really sure what's going on with Roslyn. I thought maybe the Cylon had gotten into her head somehow, the way that Six got into Gaius's. How? I do not know. Same with the whole Shelley Godfrey and how she got on the boat. I have no idea. But at the end of this episode, her dream was actually a vision of what happened in, leading up to the Cylon's death. And that is crazy. And she knows. You can see it in her eyes. She it's happening. And then she sees her nightmare, whatever, come to life. And I feel like this episode definitely played a lot into how humanity will sometimes do really nitty-gritty things to ensure their survival, which was, of course, waterboarding that guy, that Cylon, and punching him repetitively, causing pain, physical inflictions. And then it wasn't until Roslyn got involved that things went more peacefully. And it wasn't until Roslyn got involved that the Cylon opened up and told the truth. And I think that is proving a point to everybody. Once again, getting in the heads of everybody. Getting in the head of Roslyn. Is what he told Roslyn about Adama true? Is Adama really a Cylon? I don't know anymore. And I think that's the whole point of all of this. He knew that Starbuck, somehow, he knew that Starbuck was going to torture him. And he wasn't willing to crack under that. But it wasn't until Roslyn came in and showed divine intervention that he finally told the truth. He finally spilled it all. And I think that was the main point. How can they see the future though? I guess like he said, I see patterns. I see the future, how it's supposed to lay out. So thinking to a computer and AI and how we have AI right now, yeah, we can predict certain things. We can predict the weather a few weeks out into advance now. It's not always right, but there are patterns. I'm guessing that the Cylons are pulling these patterns, knowing the information that they know about Starbuck, knowing the information that they know about Roslyn, about this whole entire situation. They're able to, in a way, predict the future, which is crazy because they're always literally one step ahead of humanity at every time. But yeah, I've been actually really enjoying all of the religious talk in this because I do have a really strong background in, my own faith has been up and down, left and right, but I am very familiar with the Bible. I'm very familiar with God and Jesus and all of those stories. And I think it's really interesting, this entire sci-fi spin on it all. This whole purification by destruction. And I mean, even when I read Genesis forever ago, I had a lot of problems with it. I had a lot of issues and and that's why I mean, like, my own faith is very left-right, because yeah, some of those chapters are really hard to read and wonder what of humanity is worth saving. What part of humanity is worth saving? That's terrifying that God did that and chose Noah out of a crowd. And I can't deny that reading Genesis is difficult because, like Starbucks said, you killed everybody. That is sin. Yeah, it's topics like this that I really love to explore and I really love to read, and seeing this perspective on that was awesome. It was very, very intense, but also extremely interesting. So yeah, I can't wait to jump into episode 9. So let's head over there.